Good morning, CMAA. My heart is full, and I am certainly walking on sunshine this morning. You are part of a record. This is the largest gathering of club management professionals in the history of the world. We are at the largest conference ever for CMAA. Which speaks to the testament of the health of club management. I am going to leverage that sunshine and use that to reference a number or something throughout my speech. And I want to start with 2. And that 2 is Chris Borders and Meade Grady. Would you guys stand up? For those of you that don't know these 2, please tell them hello and talk to them. Chris Borders, I would call him the father of our BMIs. Meade Grady, he is our Ironman at 96 years old, 96 years young, sir. And the foundation, Meade has done so much for CMAA, from helping with purchase our building to being a past president. He was president in the 1987, maybe 88, somewhere in there, right, Meade? Meade was in that initial core of getting our foundation started, and that became something that many of the chapters then used to start their own foundation. So, gentlemen, we owe you a big thank you, and we're so glad you're here. And with people like that here, I hope your heart is full too, and you are walking on sunshine. Well, let's get to it. First of all, our CMA membership numbers are at the largest they have ever been, at 7,350 people. That's a 9.4% increase, it's my number, from this past year. That is huge. But wait, there's more. Not free Ginsu knives, but if you look over the past 3 years, 35% of our membership is new in the past 3 years. So while we have seen retirements and see people move out of club management, we have a lot of fresh faces and new faces coming in. You heard how many new people, new attendees we have. So I think, again, this shows the vibrancy of the association and of our community. Financially, you can get more in the annual report and the audit, but just like many of you, we dipped during the pandemic, but we are back stronger than ever. And thanks to some PPP money and some earned retention tax credits, we have gotten through the last 2 years with a net profit or a net excess, which is important. But you can see our revenues are back on that slow incline, which is what we want. And we make sure our expenses are just underneath that. One of the things that I am very proud of, and it is our CMA member equity. When I joined CMAA, we were at negative $2.8 million. This year, we have finally hit net positive at $465,000. It is awesome. Now, unlike clubs, you try not to have that rainy day fund be huge. But from our standpoint, we should have 50 to 60% of a financial backing. So we need to get to about $6 million. So we have a ways to go, but we are on that path. Our building, we went through a process of remortgaging our building just before interest rates went up. And we have a $2.1 million, my number, mortgage on our building. It is a 10-year mortgage, and the board, any net excess, we put half of that aside, and we are hoping to pay this building off in 10 years. Our building is worth about $5 million. So if you take out that $2 million, you could sort of say, okay, we have $3 million in net assets as well to add to that number, even though it's not liquid, and we like liquid numbers in case we ever have a crisis in our association. One of the things that we have seen is club careers going up this past year. We had 670 listings versus 493. That's a 35% increase. I won't call it churn, but I will call it opportunity. And it is a significant change that we are undergoing and that we have all seen in our clubs and in club management. One of the other things that is key and sort of core to CMAA is our education, and certification is at the top of that. Over this past year, we had 19 BMIs and 804 people attending those in the United States. However, this is a global community of club management professionals, and that CCM and those BMIs, even though they may be called something different, MDPs, globally, my number is we had 51 BMIs across the world. We had 1,266 attendees across the world in one of our BMI programs. So thank you to our global partners. Thank you all for being part of that community of club management professionals globally. We did a lot last year, lots of programs. San Diego, we got very lucky in the sense that we came back to San Diego and we had told everybody we were going to wear masks, and that mask mandate dropped a week before the conference. So we actually had a great conference, a little bit lighter, but it was still a great conference. My number there is 500. Mitchell had already said, many of you saw, we have 540 first-timers here, so 500 plus, which is awesome. And it's a wonderful number, and again, shows the health of our profession. We also did a redevelopment or a redesign of Club Management Magazine this past year. And one of the things that you can do is it's not only a hard copy, but it's online. And so the number there is almost close to 8,600, which was the page views of the magazine online. We also did a refresh of our website that was long overdue. And it was something that we had to get a lot of technology in place behind the scenes first. But we had 100,000 plus page views of our website over this past year. On the research front, we had a lot going on. We had a great task force that did Universal Club Performance Indicators task force. Thank you all very much. We have a capital improvements white paper that's in development, and there's a club demographic assessment in the field right now that is helping with our DEI effort, which I know it was talked about by some of our candidates. It is critically important. We need to make sure that as a community, we are welcoming to all to see the benefits of working in clubs. 6 is the number there. I'm going to test you. How many of you know those 6 key performance indicators? Don't all raise your hand. But it's a great read, and it's an important body of work. The Club Foundation continues to grow and evolve and continues to fund a lot of scholarships and other activities. They were part of that funding for this demographic DEI benchmarking survey for the next 3 years. The number there is 2,343. And to each of you that gave to the foundation, in total, it was 2,343 people. That is about a third of our membership who contributed in some way to the foundation financially to help everybody else. Thank you all very much. And I'm sure my CF board would say that gives us an opportunity if 2/3 of you have not given to the foundation, so there's an opportunity there to give to the foundation in some form or another. And you'll have opportunities during conference to do that. Our partners were just up here. My appreciation to our partners, thank you. Without you, we could not do what we do as an association. So to the 14 of you, thank you very much. Students, as was talked about, is extremely, extremely important. And we have a lot of initiatives going on with our students. One of the things we are most excited about that is launching here is a CMAA verified club internship program. We feel the more we can do to help our students understand which internships programs have a rotational process to it and have other things to it, it is going to benefit our students and benefit all of you. So go to the membership pavilion, go to and ask about this, and there's a form there that you can see what you need to do to sign up to become a verified internship program. I am delighted I got asked to be part of ICRE, which is the hospitality teachers and universities, on an advisory panel, and that is another critical area that anything we can do with our universities, we want to continue to do. We have a new recruitment video coming out that you will see at some point during conference that shows the benefits of working in clubs. And so that is going to be widely available. All of you can use that, whether you're in your universities or in your clubs, to show how important and how cool it is to work in clubs. We've also launched something new. As you know, we had the Club Spa and Fitness Association that we took over a few years ago. We have now gone to our next evolution as an association by creating communities. Our first community was to take CSFA and merge it into CMAA as a club wellness community. It is a membership-like. We are calling you subscribers, so we stay in line with our bylaws. And that first community, club wellness community, has been launched, as well as a communications community. There is a community in the sense of an online community. There is a community in the sense of an event or a summit. There is research. There is all sorts of stuff around these communities. As CMA members, when you pay your dues, you have the ability to opt into these, so you can get all the benefit of that if you're a smaller club and want to understand what's going on wellness or what's going on communication. But we hope that you will see the benefit for a couple $100 to have your professionals join these as well. So we are excited about this. 3 is the number that is coming out in 2023. So there's one more that's going to come out in the fall, but there's 2 that are launched right now. More to come in the future as well. Contemporary club management. I've done a lot in 8 years, but this one has been one of my hardest things to sort of deal with. Somewhere in our history, we co-trademarked contemporary club management, and now that half of that trademark is with the National Restaurant Association. So we've been trying for several years to get that back into CMAA. And because we really need to update that book and then create a process to where we keep it updated. I am pleased to say that we are working with an agreement to get that trademark finally back so we can get that updated and it will truly belong to CMAA, which is huge, and my clock is there because this has been way too long to make happen. But we're finally there. Jason and his team can then move on with the updating. It will go to electronic form, and there will be teaching guides and other things around it. Our arrangement with the National Restaurant Association is that they will offer it in hardcover and be able to sell that. So there'll be 2 ways to get it, but the trademark is truly ours. So we are excited about that. Some other things coming in 2023, a People and Culture Summit. As you've seen, we've done summits over the past few years. This is the latest one to be launched, Mid-Management Task Force. Michael will mention this when he takes the stage, but we want to focus on how do we make sure there is stickiness among mid-managers and how do we support you. National Club Association, somewhere it was mentioned as well. We are doing a governance project with that. I think Joe mentioned that in his speech. That is critically important that we work together as 2 associations. BMI Wine and Food is coming back. It has been lapsed for a few years, but we're excited to get it back. Randy Reuter is leading that for us, so thank you, Randy. And lastly, when I stood up here right before the pandemic, I talked about our new strategic plan, and then bam, we had this pandemic. So we are revisiting that through our committee structure and through our boards to not do a full-fledged update of our full-fledged redo of our strategic plan, but to look and drop some things and add some things based upon how the world has changed. So that when we stand here next year, we will talk about. Mitchell mentioned, and thank you for approving the annual report, we have an Ask the Leadership session on Monday. That is one of those things that I always feel people are never going to show up and ask questions, and we always fill that hour. So that 60 is the number, 60 minutes to ask any question you have. And with that is my sunshine report. Thank you all for your membership. Thank you all for being here.